Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to my community show. Much like I said, I want to get one of these out every week. This was supposed to go up yesterday, but I didn't even film it until today, which is Tuesday. So, there you go. Anyway, welcome back to my community show. Today, I have a fun topic. So, there's this feller on the internet there named Ice Cream Sandwich. He does animations, which are adorable and hilarious. A while back, he did a video talking about what 3 video game items would you like to bring into, would you use for specific scenarios. One like the zombie apocalypse, one is like just everyday life, and the other one is annexing Toronto. Which I thought was a little weird, but I also like the idea of it. I was like, that's a funny idea. Let's do that. Let's talk about that. Now, of course, he didn't. I don't know if he actually said any of his ideas in the video, but he read a lot of them that he got from Twitter, and that's cool. It's his video. He's allowed to do what he wants. So I'm going to talk about what I want, what I would do for these things, what I would do. What video games would I take into the real world? All right. So the first topic was an object you would use for the zombie apocalypse. Now, there are so many useful different items you could bring for the zombie apocalypse from video games, because, it's ridiculous. I think one of my favorite ones that was in his video was the portal gun. And not just because it, is a portal gun. I would love that in any scenario, but also because it would be pretty effective, because you could get away from the zombies quicker than anything. You got to be careful, though, because if you miss, you're going to end up killing yourself. But I picked the blueprints from Fortnite. I know I don't much like Fortnite itself as a stupid game. Not into those types of games. I'm going to drink some of this coffee so I can put it down. But I was thinking, the blueprints from Fortnite. Now, you're like, that's not an item, but it is. Like, if you look at the picture of the person when they're about to build something and doing the crazy, wacky builds up in the air, they're holding a set of blueprints. And that's what causes everything to create like that. And imagine how useful that would be in the zombie apocalypse, dude. You just build up a house right around you so the zombies like, "Ugh," which is funny, because Fortnite used to have a single-player mode, which was, or I'm not sure if you call it single-player mode, but it was a PvE mode, which was you against zombies. And it was like, oh, so that was actually intended to be a zombie game. But, other than that, it's like that is just a perfect idea. You can lay down traps, you can build up walls, you can build up towers, and it's fine, you got your zombies and everything. And even just the buildings themselves, as long as one point is touching the ground, then you're perfect, you're golden, you're Gucci and all that stuff. So it's like, you could have this one random little spot over here leading up to a giant building out in the middle of the sky, and then the zombies would all, of course, follow you, so they'd be down here underneath the building and everything. So it's like, yeah, they can't get you. Of course, being that, people be stupid in zombie apocalypses, if you ran across a survivor type who wanted to hurt you, you just break it and you're screwed. But, at the same time, it's a zombie apocalypse. You're screwed in a lot of ways. So I thought that would be a good idea of something to bring in there. Now, for everyday life, and I know a lot of people have talked about this sort of thing, but for everyday life, I think save points. Now, other people are like, I'd like to do the quick saving, but I'm like, nah, that's too cheap mode. That's way too easy mode. But save points, specifically, you have one at your house so that you can save before you go out and do things for the day. That way you don't have to worry about being stressed about, what happens if I die? Well, then you can just reload your previous save and go. Now, of course, what I want is not like what would happen to the characters in the video game, but what would happen to the player. So the player would remember it. So it's essentially it's essentially Groundhog's Day, What was really funny, what I was thinking about when I was talking about this one, though, is you save in the morning, you go out, and you get hit by a car, so you wake up at your previous save, shoot. So don't walk into that car place. Okay, gotcha. So but then I was thinking it would be hilarious. You go through your entire day, and every gamer knows to be wary when you find a save point just randomly out in the place. So it'd be funny. You're walking around the mall or something, and all of a sudden you see a save point, and you're like, uh-oh, What's about to happen? And of course, it's even worse when you just see random like health items like first aid kits and stuff scattered around or some ammo or whatnot. You're like, what the heck happened here? Oh no, quick, hit that save point. We're about to face a boss fight over here. Could you imagine how weird that would be? Now, of course, like I said, everyone's talked about wanting to be able to save in real life because that would just make things so much easier. You wouldn't have to worry. Anxiety would be like nothing. It's like, oh, I really botched that question, didn't I? Let me go ahead and reload my save. But of course, this would really not be. It would really not be a particularly good thing for like just everybody in general. But like for me, one person, one singular person, I'm okay with that. Now, as for the third topic, which I know he just kind of threw out there to be a funny, but annexing Toronto. Now, I was sitting here thinking about it because, like, annexing a whole city, especially a big city in Canada, now that's a weird one to think about. How would you go about that? So I'm like, well, let me think. I'd want something militaristic, something I could enforce power with, you know? But, like, just a tank or an airplane or something, well, I'd be dead within, like, 2 seconds. So, like, annexing Toronto with just one singular weapon wouldn't really work because I'm still a good target. Unless, of course, we're talking about like the Zeus cannon or something from outer space. But in that case, I'm not really annexing Toronto as so much as I'm destroying Canada. But then I was thinking about it like, what would be a good way to do it? Well, GLaDOS, but GLaDOS is more of a character than an object, an item, so we can't really say that. But then I thought about it. I've been playing Prey in my off time, and I was thinking about it. And I know you're thinking, no, the Typhons, they're bad for you. I'm like, no, not the Typhons. Think about it. What would be perfect and ideal for annexing a country, or a city in this case, would give you like the just the amount of military presence you would need, and still be pretty effective and useful, and is still considered an item. The operator kiosks. Yes. And of course, I'd need more than just one, because most of the kiosks can only really supply you with 3, unless you're talking about when they're hacked and the military operators come out, which actually, to be fair, would be a lot better for usage in annexing a whole city. The military kiosks, the military operators would definitely be much more useful because of their laser beams and everything. And the other ones aren't really intended for combat. They're mostly, supplemental in health and repairs and whatnot, which would be good too. So like have one medical, one engineering, one scientific one, and then have a whole bunch of just military kiosks. And it's like, boom, we got ourselves an army of operators. We got ourselves health. We have ourselves repairs. We are perfect. We are Gucci. We're Gucci. We're golden. We are going to take over this whole city with this, and we're going to annex it. I don't really want to annex Toronto. I'm just answering the question, gosh darn it. But yeah, that's the item I would take to annex, well, just about anything. Because honestly, having a military force of operators would just be perfect. But yeah, that's my 3 items. Remember, if you want to answer this question, credit goes to Ice Cream Sandwich for asking the question first. Of course, people have asked these sorts of questions before, but if you want to answer the questions, it's what would you like for the zombie apocalypse, what would you like for everyday life, and what would you like to annex Toronto? It's a weird question. Would you like to annex Toronto? No, not really. But anyway, apart from all that, that's going to be it for my video for today. I did want to talk about this. Like I said, this was supposed to go up yesterday, so I could warn you all that this was going to be basically an automated week. I'm going to be answering my comments, obviously. I do that all the time. But it's like, with Christmas coming up on Sunday, my Christmas is on Saturday. I'm not really going to be putting a whole lot of effort into much of anything for the channel or anything. Kind of like taking it easy, just going to enjoy the holiday season. Yesterday we went to a holiday walk. It was awesome. Lights and shininess and Christmas songs and trees with drip and me with my perky hat. It was a perky hat, yeah. But yeah, so it's mostly just going to be West of Loathing videos. This one's coming up today. I probably won't even have a West of Loathing video up today, so this might be my only video, not counting the short I put up earlier. But yeah, so I did want to get in here and wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, all those holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful one. Hope your Hanukkah is going well, etc., etc. And yeah, thank you all so much for your continued support. Next week will be my year-end video where we will be talking about all sorts of things, including best and worst of the year, as well as whether or not I met my goals and whether or not I have, set any new ones. The ending will surprise you. But anyway, like I was saying, thank you all so much for your continued support, and hope you all have a great holiday, whatever you celebrate. And if you celebrate nothing, well, I hope you have a wonderful day anyway. And until next time,